Okay, so welcome back, everybody, to this running podcast. I'm your host for the show, Dr. Fuentes, and I'm really excited about this show today. Of course, I'm going to be talking about my local race. I'm from El Paso, and I'm proudly an ambassador for the El Paso Marathon. So we're going to be talking about everything that involves about creating such a big event like this and getting involved with the community. How do you get moving to the community to start running, to start involved, right? Maybe if they want to run their first 5K, to run maybe their 10th marathon. It takes like a lot of, sometimes like a lot of courage to get involved like in a training and to commit like to something like this. By the way, when you commit to an event like this, you have the support of amazing people, trainers, a community. There's a lot of running groups that are growing here in El Paso, and it's so amazing to see my city growing in moving and running out there and getting like in physical activity, right? So it's pretty exciting. So let me go ahead and give you like a brief introduction into my wonderful guest today. So on my right here, I have Brian. And Brian, let me tell you a little bit about Brian. So Brian is a professional fitness trainer since 1998. He was a national certifier of fitness professionals, and he's the author of The Considerate Trainer. I was able to take a look into it today at Amazon, and yes, hi Brian. I loved it because he was posting things like, oh, if you're one of those trainers that you want to make your athletes throw up every time, put this book down. If you're one of those trainers that you're always looking at yourself in the mirror, put this book down. If you don't know how to listen, put this book down. So I just by looking at it and obviously taking a look at the content, I was able to see, being a trainer is about having that personal connection with a person, with an athlete. How do I get that person involved and help him, like maintain that consistency over time? So I think you need somebody that you can trust and be able to build that connection. But going back to a little bit of bio of Brian, he's a race director since 2010. You have probably heard about these different running events in El Paso, like Color Run, the Zombie Run, the Make-A-Wish Foundation, the March of Dimes of EPISD. And he's currently an assistant director for the El Paso Marathon, and he's in charge of sponsorships, water stations, logistics, Expo. He's also an Ironman 70.3 finisher. I can go on. Oceanside 2018, Oceanside 2019, the Victoria, Canada 2022, Morro Bay 2023, and so on. Hi, Brian. How are you?
Oh my gosh. Yes, I'm already tired. All those things.
Yeah, I'm making you like shine here in this podcast.
Fantastic. Hello. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for being with us today. So awesome. How did you become a trainer?
So I became a trainer I've always been into fitness. And so just seeing people and how the body works, I just wanted to learn more about that. And so there was a flyer in 97 where, there was a cycling certification coming. And so since I was like a mountain biker, I love to ride all around El Paso. Somebody said, hey, Brian, you ride your bike. So why don't you go for this certification? I'm just like, so cycling class, like I take people in a group and go around El Paso like on a bike or something. I didn't know about stationary bikes. And so when I finally saw what it was, I'm like, hey, this is really cool. And till today I still teach cycling classes.
And I see also like giving those what's the name of it? It just
like a Peloton?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like training sessions and things like that.
Yeah. I do all of that. And so I also have a website where I have subscribers around the world. I'm very blessed.
Nice. Okay.
I'm very blessed.
All right.
And so it is bgmovefit.com. And so I've uploaded many cycling classes there. And so I have a big following in South Africa. I don't know why.
For some reason,
I picture a billboard of me in South Africa. Somewhere.
So cool.
I was like, why do I have so many South Africans? So yeah, and so I'm very blessed to have following like that around the world.
Very cool. And how did you become involved with the El Paso Marathon? Because I know you've been kind of like involved with it a couple of years ago, and right now you seem to be running a lot of it.
Yes. Well, there's an evil man, Mike Coulter, who tackled me.
Please don't show this to Mike.
I know, don't show this to Mike. Evil. Hi, Mike. and so he approached me about 3 years ago about this, and so we talked seriously last year about it, and so we started going over different logistics and what I would be doing, and so it was just bouncing ideas off of each other, and it just came to fruition that here I am, assistant race director. And so there's a lot that goes into it, planning the course. There's so many outlines that I turn to Mike. I'm like, what do you think? And Mike's always the last say. It's like, hey, here's all my stuff. What do you think about this? And so, he goes over it. And so he goes over it with the board, which, I'm pretty sure Jim will talk about that later. He's part of the board. And so we just do so many different things. There's so many things that go behind everything, from the planning to the sponsorships to the volunteers to, I can go on and on and on and on and on about this, but I'm very blessed to be part of the El Paso Marathon, and it's a lot of work.
And I think that to see an event like this, it requires people that really put their heart into it.
Right.
And I mean, I barely get to know you, like honestly, a little bit. Mm-hmm. But just by having those few meetings that I've had with you, you're a person that has like a lot of energy, like a positive vibe. Like Brian is cool, right? So I think I can see like why it's easy, like for Mike, or like reach out to you and have that easy, like reach out to people and make connections and with sponsors.
I think you need energy. You need energy to be in a role like this.
But you need to believe it. You need to put your heart in.
Exactly. I have to put my heart. Some people break my heart, when I go for ask for money, they break my heart, but it's okay. It's all part of it. My heart regenerates and I'm back, Okay. And so, but yeah, you definitely have to be a people person and have connections and all that. I'm thankful for my clients. A lot of my clients are business owners. And so they guide me. Some of the times I'm like, look, I need this. How do I do this? And they're like, oh, you need to go talk to somebody. Oh, you need to go talk to this person. Let me make some calls. And I'm like, thank you. And so you just go, and I know a lot of people, and I'm blessed.
Yeah. Well, if you need Brian, here's your guy, right? So we have him right here. Reach out to Brian.
Thank you.
So let me go ahead and introduce you to my other guest. She's an amazing, phenomenal athlete, CEO, founder of Life Athletics. And probably this is what, probably is not probably the most, one of the biggest running clubs that we have here in El Paso, which was established back in 2020. Well, this is a local running club. I know they also have a triathlon team dedicated to fostering an active lifestyle with the El Paso community. And what I love about them, and this I've told them in the past, they just have an amazing leadership, energy. They just get everybody moving. They have different programs, challenges, whatever your level, whatever your goal might be, they will help you find a way to get you moving and get you achieve those different goals. So they're very welcoming. I see a lot of people growing there, so they're pretty amazing. Hi, Nancy. How are you?
Hi, Doctora Fuentes. Very good, thank you.
Hi, Nancy. So tell us a little bit about Life Athletics. What is Life Athletics?
First of all, thank you for the invitation. I'm very excited. It's the first time that I get to participate in a podcast, so I hope that everything goes smoothly and I don't mess it up for you. So Live Athletics, yes, like you mentioned, it started back in 2020. And I used to teach kickboxing classes at a nutrition club, and they also had a run club.
Okay.
And when the pandemic happened, everything shut down. But when things started getting active again around the end of June, beginning of July, I asked the owner, hey, do you think we can get the activities going again? And he was like, would you like to run the show? You're in charge of the run club, because right now I have other focus. And from that, it was something where, okay, yeah, let's do it. Very casual.
Okay.
But then we started, hey, we should go to a trail run. We should go to this park. We should visit this coffee shop afterwards. So it just got more engaging. And then looking at how the city was the epicenter of the pandemic, and looking at numbers of the COVID, of just different rates of diseases that are here in our city, we knew that it had to have more purpose, that even though it started at something casual and social, we wanted to make an impact. So the transition started. We started thinking about a name for it, a purpose behind it, and just from something so small, it has given me purpose. Because I never thought that I would be a running coach or that I would be the leader of a community. And I guess life puts you in specific spots. And working with my husband, Julio, he's also very dedicated to serving the community. He brings in a lot of creativity and putting challenges. I'm kind of like the one that posts on social media or makes the videos, but he makes the work. Like, he's the one that designs the running challenges, or if we're doing a specific program, he's more on that creative side. And so it's been an interesting journey as well, because we knew we wanted to have something together, like a business or some sort of movement, and giving life to Live Athletics gave life to that goal that we had, which was to create something together and work for a common goal. And so that's how it has started, but we've gotten amazing people on board, and it just keeps getting better, stronger, more meaningful, and the impact is just going to continue.
And one thing that I love about you guys is that you guys are always looking for ways to learn and educate yourselves. You're just not like a running club. We run and then we have coffee and that's it. I always see you guys engage about like learning and educating. And not only that, you not only promote to have like a physical lifestyle, right? But also I see you sharing books and information and knowledge. So I think that's also like talks a lot about you as a person, that you want your people to learn and to.
I feel like that could be bringing it back to my background. So I went to UTEP and I studied education.
Okay.
It was for kids, but now I feel like I'm still using my degree for adults. It's a little bit more difficult because adults have their ways. But I mean,
sometimes
I'm learning.
I think adults are more difficult than children, like honestly.
Exactly. But I feel like that background that I have of, staying on what's new, on what's beneficial, on what has changed, it's just a way of providing a better service and a better value to the people that are around us. And I'm a person that loves workshops, conferences, and so I like to continuously feed my brain, my knowledge, so that I can have also like meaningful conversations.
Yeah. And if you're not a coach who's coachable, I don't think you can be a good coach. You gotta
can't.
right? I mean, you gotta be somebody who's always like constantly learning, coaching yourself, and like looking for ways to become better. Otherwise, I feel it's very hard to train other people if you don't have that plasticity like in yourself, right? So welcome, Nancy. Thank you so much for joining us today. And Jim, let me tell you about Jim. I don't have a much writing about Jim, but I'm such a fan of Jim Weddell. So I know Jim has run over 80 marathons, Jim? Kind of like so, yeah?
91.
91. I'm sure, 91. You're close to that 100.
I count them, yeah.
Cool, yes. I know you're also do like a lot of Ironmans as well. I know back then you once told me like in a conversation that you began like in your 40s, right? Running.
That's right.
Like
a little later in life.
Yeah. So you're my inspiration. I look at you like someday I want to be like Jim, right? He's an amazing athlete, like not to brag, but you're like professional level type of athlete. You're an amazing athlete, like to be honest. Not only that, but I'm going to say something. You see a lot of great athletes out there and their egos are in their sky, right? But you have like such an amazing heart. You're always like reaching out to people. Hey, you got to run. You come run with us. I go run with you. If I'm running like a 12-mile pace, you come and run with me. Like you don't make me feel like, oh, she's going so low. Like you don't give me that feeling that maybe I have like with a different person, right? You make me feel welcomed I'm a runner. So I think you have like an amazing heart, like in that sense, and have that inclusion to all the runners that are part of the club. I know you're part of the Run El Paso. I'm part of that run as well. Sometimes when I can, I go when I wake up. All right. And what I love also about Run El Paso, this club, you see so amazing people out there, like you see amazing athletes that have like over 100 marathons, Ironmans, finishes of the all the six world majors. And I honestly, sometimes I just like to run behind you guys and listen to your conversations because I get inspired. That's all I want. It's just people loving to run. And that's it. That's a love of running, right? So I love that.
I think what I've learned as a runner more is it's about the community. It's about getting out and doing something. A lot of the clubs that have come about in the last few years, there's definitely a social aspect to them, which is great, right? Maybe people who used to go to a bar to meet other people, well, they're not going to a bar, they're going out for a run. I can't think of anything better than that. And you're probably going to be healthier yourself, probably going to have a better relationship. So sure, the social aspect's pretty important to me and to everybody I know.
Yeah, of course. And I know you're also part of the El Paso Marathon board, right?
I'm the marketing director.
Okay.
I'm on the board, but I guess they call it ex officio.
Okay.
So it's like you're non-voting, but on the board. But I started doing marketing. There were, I guess I can kind of talk about it now. About 8 years ago, we were starting to question whether the marathon was going to continue because our numbers were not strong. And that's when I was invited to join, said, hey, can you help us out with marketing? So, I did what I used to work in media for a long time. El Paso Times, Albuquerque Journal, El Diario de Juarez, Mexico City, La Jornada. So I brought that to it and I said, sure, there's a lot of things you're doing that could change. In the last few years, it's been nice because it's
been growing a lot.
Does marketing in their own way. So people are posting stuff on all the social media and that only helps. So pandemic kind of threw things for a couple of years, but every year since in the past years, we've grown until the pandemic knocked our numbers for a loop. But then once it was over, we've been growing right back up, and this will be our biggest year ever.
Nice. How many participants we have registered so far?
Registered, I just looked at the numbers too, but I think we'll hit around 5,000.
Oh, nice. Okay, is that record for us?
Yes, by far. That'd probably be a good 20% increase from our record.
Yeah, of course. I'm pretty proud of that. And I see, I know like here in El Paso, I see kind of like now, I don't know if that's me but I see a boom of running clubs like all over like El Paso. And I know El Paso, we've been like in bad statistics regarding obesity, being one of the leaders regarding obesity as
Number
well.
3.
Sure,
so now to see like so many people running out there, it's great.
Well, we have Live Athletics, we have Run For It, we have Run the 915, plus Coffee Posse, Run El Paso.
The girls from the 915, they're also doing a great job.
Yeah. So and it's all for the same kind of fun, enjoying riding, maybe doing some, they're from very, very social, run a couple miles and have fun, to very serious.
DJs. Ending with a DJ and a party. So there's every kind of a running club for you just
That's
to
the
get
way
to
to do
engage.
it now. That's the way to do it.
Whatever works for you,
works.
it's out there, right? We gotta move on to that. Yeah, all right. So, I didn't know you had that background for marketing. That's great to know. See, what I was telling you guys before the podcast began, I was like, I love having podcast conversations because I feel like you really get to know more like of people that you have no idea like outside of it. So it's a great way to just sit somebody in the chair and start asking questions. So it's good. All right, going to El Paso Marathon. I know the first race was 2007 that I got.
2007, about there.
Yeah. 2007. This will be if you count the first race, this will be our 18th running.
Okay.
Running.
That doesn't quite go with, so we'll have our 20th. Running
so it's a 20th?
in 2 years in 2026. 2027 will be our 20th anniversary, but it'll actually be our 21st running.
Oh, okay. So,
We're math.
We'll just follow the medals.
Exactly.
Say, right? And I know we have like a very cool medal this time.
Ooh,
we have
we
the
do.
L.
We do have the
L
L.
for
so
love.
It's for love.
It's
it
for
is.
love.
It,
Love
and
for
for
running,
luck.
right?
And
For
for
Live
luck.
Athletics.
And for Live Athletics.
Claro.
That's right. We're plugging it right there. Live Athletics. Yeah. Yeah, but we started with the E. And so this is the year of the L. And a lot of people are like, how do we get the E? And I'm like, well, there's a virtual run that you can get, online and do the virtual, and we'll send you the E.
So when do I have like the time to get the E? Like if I go and I miss the E, what will be the way?
I think it's March 3rd, right? March 3rd.
So there's still time to get
March
that
3rd,
E for all of you folks that miss the E. Now the L, who came up with this idea of the letters?
Is that Mike?
I think
don't know.
Jaime Herrera probably gets the credit
Jaime.
for that. One of our board members.
All right.
Yeah, this year you got to take the L.
Yeah, you got to take the L.
The L is a good thing.
You got to do it. L for live athletics, right? And for love.
Not for lose.
Yeah.
Not for lose.
No, for love, live
You're a winner with the
athletics,
For love. It's for love. It's for love.
All right. And I know our marathon, it's a BQ, it's a Boston qualifier, right? It's also part of the Abbott's WMM MTTH Group Marathon World Champions. So if you're chasing that BQ, it's your chance. And I know that the course seems to be pretty flat with a good kind of like downhill,
Gradual.
little hill at the end.
Yes, there is.
Which makes it perfect.
There
There's
is.
some little uphills
A little
at
bit
the end, but
tiny,
nothing
too bad. So
Absolutely. And so we also paid for the weather to have the wind at your back.
to help.
At your back to push you to the finish line. We ordered that. So let's see if that comes in
So
time.
if you're looking to be cute, this is your year.
This is
here
the
in El
one.
Paso.
This is the
and
one.
we have the Abbott World
Yeah.
Age Group Championship
Yeah.
qualifier, New York Marathon Challenge
Okay.
qualifier 2, Berlin for that matter. People
Okay.
have qualified for Berlin with our marathon. So
Oh, cool. Yeah. Now I'm too late to bring all those miles up.
Me too.
Yeah. Fine.
too.
We'll stick to the half. Okay. So, besides that, I know we have the expo. How are we doing with the expo?
The expo is going. It's going to be amazing. So we have great people attached to the expo. Of course, Up and Running, which is our local running store that has just every type of running shoe that everybody needs.
Yeah,
And
if you don't
so-
go to Up and Running, you're not from El Paso,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, what are you doing if you're
Yeah,
not going
what's
to Up
wrong
and
with
Running?
you?
Like, come on now, what's wrong with you? And so we have the expo this year. It's going to be all about entertainment, and so we have like stormtroopers going to be walking around. We have the Ghostbusters going to be walking around, and so I kind of wanted to add an element of like entertainment and interactive. And so what we're doing with the vendors is we're asking for them to be like interactive and have like a game attached to it or something, just so that it's just not you're just not walking around and just going to pick up your your bib and just going to get your t-shirt. We want people to get something out of the expo as well, and so we're trying to make it as entertainment. We have like music this year, and so
Do you have any special like performance?
U2 is going to come down and play for us. No, I'm just kidding. No, we can afford that. No. We could, and
We have
Coldplay.
the race or
Coldplay is going to do a quick set, but hey,
what happened, Brian?
there were
You can pull off Coldplay.
and so the difference between our expos and others is that we are having the bibs at the very beginning, and so we're going to funnel everybody through the expo in order to get the t-shirt at the very end, so that all of our vendors.
a trap.
It is a trap.
Right,
it is a trap. I'm going to see how many people we can catch and stuff. And so, it's going to go around, and at the very end is where people are going to be able to obtain their t-shirts. So they have to go through the whole expo, in order to to get their t-shirt
and maybe
finish
get
off.
some stars in there if you don't have
there
5
might
stars
be some stars.
from
There might,
there.
let me
You
tell you,
cannot
there
get
might
your
be some.
shirt at the end.
There might be some stickers. There might be something cool. I don't know. I'm going to leave that up to
Can I share about the shake-up run?
Ooh, yeah, absolutely.
Shakeout.
Yeah.
Shakeout, sorry, shakeout.
Shakeout.
Right, so this is something where we want to invite all the participants just to do a last movement before the big day. And we're going to be meeting same location as the expo, which will be at the Civic Center. And it's going to be a very easy 2-mile route, somewhere around maybe a little bit about the 5K. We don't want to disclose all the surprises for race day. But it will be something where we want to bring the community out, and maybe if they're feeling a little bit nervous, if it's their first time, just seeing the other participants can make them feel a little bit more comfortable. And we're doing that. I think we said, I'm not sure if we said 8 or 9. We haven't published the detail, but it's a way for people to as they finish the little run, they can go and pick
go
up
to
their
the
packet.
to the expo and get their packet. That's pretty cool. And that's gonna be like the ambassadors,
Yes.
like involved.
Yes,
like,
correct.
go pick an ambassador and
Absolutely. And so where
with it.
can people sign up for that? Where can people get information for the Shakeout Run? Okay,
Okay,
perfect.
perfect.
or make like a little video or something and just
Or they can
you
just hear it here and just meet us
yeah,
at 8
right.
o'clock, right?
Just
Civic
please
Center.
share
There
it
There
to my
is.
2 fans and the people that listen to this. Please share.
Well, you have 3 fans now.
Thank you.
The start.
Nice.
Right. All right. So, also, how do we get the community moving? And Nancy, you're very good with moving the community. What's your secret? How do you get people come and join us? What's the secret out there?
I don't think it's a secret. I think it's more of going back to when I was a teacher and seeing the progress of the students. And I was a second grade teacher, so it was a lot of teaching them proper writing, reading, some social skills, and just seeing them thrive and being able to do it. It connects back to now seeing the adults being able to achieve different milestones, challenge themselves. And that's one of the big things with our community. It's that we want to have that space, that safe space for people to come and ask questions, have a feel of the sport. And then if what we offer was good enough for them and they want to take it on their own, that's a win for us. It's like when I was a teacher. It's the end of the school year and my students are going to the 3rd grade. So it's the same here where I provided a service, I teach them something, and now they're ready to go. And coming into the fitness, I've always liked working out. I've always liked running. I've always liked challenging myself physically, and I want people to feel that.
Yeah.
Just like when we were young, we would run everywhere. And what is the stop? You're gonna fall. Don't climb there. But we wanted to be like the movement was there, and it's similar to when you tried your first. Even in PE class, when you did your first jumping jacks, when you score your first goal, it's like, why do adults stop challenging themselves? Because life gets on the way, other responsibilities. And so it's like, I want to have that space for people to continuously challenge themselves no matter the time.
No matter your age or anything. I barely began in my 40s to start running. Before that, like nothing, right? So it was kind of like a challenge for me. Regarding, I guess my health was not good at all. So first, I guess like for many of us, it's like for health purposes that you want to start like working out, and then you become like addicted and like it becomes everything about it.
Exactly.
But I think for me now, that talking about challenges, right? I sometimes I'm running or I don't even want to, but I have my goals, and I want my daughter and my son to see that even at my age, I'm trying to reach out to new goals, new purposes. I'm trying
You're still
to
super
learn
young,
something
though.
new.
You're still super young.
Right?
Stop it.
Yeah, they're
Stop
like
it.
2 years old, so they're babies. But like I guess as parents, our coaches, it's like sometimes it's your actions. Through your actions, you are able also like to inspire, to
Absolutely.
move other people. right?
Absolutely. And what I love too about the Live 3 Athletics is that, they're always keeping everything fresh. And so there's always a new challenge. There's always something different. And so I think that caters to a lot more people, than just, hey, we're just going to go for a run. It was going to go. They did. I was so jealous that I didn't participate in the Goggins. You guys did that Goggins challenge. Oh my gosh. I was like drooling when they done. I was like, I have plantar fasciitis. I can't do it. And so what they did was just like amazing. And so
context
Tell
for
us about the Goggins.
right. So
challenge.
context for the community. It's a challenge that a Navy SEAL, David Goggins, created. He's just a very intense athlete. And he created this 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. So we decided to, again, bring the community together. We put it out there who wanted to be a part of. We rented a Airbnb.
very bougie. Very bougie.
Yeah, we did. We took care of the participants. We also hired somebody to cook for us one of the meals. We had a physical therapist, and we're also very blessed with the people that came to play a role in this event because they made it up for donation, like whatever the participants wanted to donate. So just making those collaborations where they also want to be a part of what we're doing, it's a blessing. And so we started Friday at 5 p.m. We go run the 4 miles, come back, and then at 9 p.m. we run, come
all over
back,
again.
1 a.m., 5 a.m., 9, and so on till Sunday, our last run at 1 p.m. And you learn a lot about yourself.
That's true.
Because, yes, you're in the house with all these participants, but it just becomes your challenge. And there's moments when we do gather, like when we were doing the cold plunge and the physical therapist was doing the massage or the stretching, that was a little bit of bringing the community together. But those runs at 1 a.m, at 5 a.m, it's like you're committed. But something that I noticed with the group, that the 2 times that we've done it, that the group knows that they're not going to quit. Mm-hmm. Like, they're doing it for themselves. They're doing it for the commitment. They're doing it because they showed up. And so just knowing that, it makes you feel the same weight. It has that same, what is the word? Compromiso. How do you say it?
Like a commitment.
Yeah.
The commitment. Like, I'm in here for me, for the team, and we're going to suffer together. And so, I mean, I recommend you to try it, but make sure you let people know you're doing it because it could get challenging.
And
You
like
can pass
said,
out somewhere and land in a bush, and they won't find you for a couple months.
Better with a group. Obviously,
Better with a group, yes.
But like you say,
group.
you learn a lot about like yourself, like
Yes.
through that process, right? And Jim, I know you've run like so many places, and you keep traveling, and you just went to Sydney and ran the Sydney
Right.
Marathon.
That
How was that?
Oh, that was quite an experience. But the marathon was a lot of fun.
Okay.
Sydney's a beautiful city. It was also fun just being in Australia, and seeing kangaroos and koalas and all that kind of
That's
stuff.
so nice.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of things we have in town. Like you just mentioned, the Goggins Challenge. There's also, there was a place this year out at Aurelia's. They did a beer run, and you'd have to run a half mile, drink a beer, half a mile. I don't know if it's probably, not good for everybody. You have to be over 21.
I'll probably fall asleep in the
But
middle
tell
of
you,
it.
there's so many. There's up in Las Cruces, they'll do a 24-hour. I guess you'd call it a race. It's not
Yeah, the
exactly a
Tortugas?
race. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Albuquerque does one of those too. They call it the fat ass. I don't know exactly why. They definitely don't have fat asses.
It's
It's a
Albuquerque.
catchy name.
But
yeah.
there's all these different things going on where you can run in different ways. Maybe it's just not just run a couple miles. Maybe it's run every 4 hours. Maybe it's run through the night. We had someone in town. I don't know if you know of her, Carolyn Johnson, who was on the USA 24-hour team. She's competed internationally with the 24-hour team in Korea, Italy, I think it was Prague, representing.
Okay.
So we've had some stars come out of here. Of course, marathoners, half marathoners, and a few years ago, a woman from UTEP got second in Chicago Marathon. It was kind of famous. She was
Nice.
a graduate.
Okay.
Well, and she was from Kenya, and she was finishing. She was already doing her victory lap, celebrating that she got first, and as she was coming in celebrating, she got passed.
The worst.
Yeah.
But we've had a lot of stars come through.
Okay.
But we've also had a lot of regular people who just really like running. The president of our board, Salvador Romeda's done,
He's amazing.
I don't know, around 130 marathons. He just keeps doing them. He likes it.
I know, I'm always behind, like, Salvador, tell me what was your favorite marathon? Tell me about it. He just starts telling me all his stories, so it's wonderful to listen to him.
And I'll add, because you mentioned how do we get the community involved? Well, on the 5K, even the half marathon, you'll see a lot of walkers.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. It's really a nice way to get moving and enjoy, an early February morning, right? So, and the other thing we really need to, and I think it helps people get involved and want to do it, is if we get just community support. Just walk out on the street and cheer the marathoners on. And I guarantee you, if you watch that, you're going to want to do it yourself someday.
Yeah, the other day I was having like such a bad run, and I was just like struggling, and those days, right? And I was like, I should just quit and stop and whatever. But I saw this old man; he was just staring at me, and he just kept like putting like thumbs up, like somebody that like
Guilty,
I don't
huh?
Yeah, he was just looking at me, and he was like even like clapping, and just brought my spirits up. Like, okay, fine, like let's bring it up. But
Do it for him.
yeah, sometimes even the support of somebody you don't even know can have like such a big impact on somebody else's life.
Right. We're doing really well in El Paso getting the turnout for the runners, the participants. What we now want to kind of concentrate on is getting the city to embrace the races.
Yeah.
And so if you're not doing anything February 23rd,
Please
come
go
on
out.
downtown, watch people finish. Or go along the route. That's like you just pointed out. That's the best kind of support when you're at mile 22 in your marathon all alone on the street, and one guy says, "Hey, you're doing
Yeah,
great."
just a stranger clapping,
That's
like it
nice.
feels like it's cheering for you only. Like
right.
it brings you up. Like it's really like very very meaningful. Like a lot of impact in all of the runners.
Yep.
So
And the weather is so great. Like in February, like it's kind of cold, but it's not like it's not like Minneapolis or like Chicago. Like in February, it's nothing like that. It's
I know
beautiful.
we had a
here.
blizzard like
was
a couple
one-
of years
Yeah,
ago,
yeah.
and people still run it.
People still
because I
ran
see
it.
pictures.
We
Yeah.
were all ready for the pandemic. We had said, okay, we're going to be one of the few marathons. It was, February 2020, we were okay because the pandemic hit March.
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 But then February 2021, we prepared, we're going to have people 10 feet apart. We're going to space properly, mask. And then the snowstorm came in.
And
It's
it
like-
was divided in 3 days: 5K Friday,
Yes.
half
Oh, yeah?
on a
Yeah, it
Saturday,
was.
and the full on a Sunday.
And we had to change the route to being really around, doing loops around Escalante
Escalante.
and the snowstorm. And the snowstorm didn't kick in right at the beginning. Actually, the first half of the race, more or
It was
less.
drizzling.
Yeah, it was
yeah.
very little flurries, and then boom, we got a big, nice snowstorm. It made for an interesting race. About as far as the marathon goes, I'd say about almost half the runners didn't finish.
Yeah,
who
didn't
started.
finish.
And sometimes I think that when things go wrong, tend to be the most memorable ones.
Right, exactly.
For
Those
Yeah,
are
I
the
agree
ones.
with that.
Those are the ones. And then with the pandemic, it's so funny that I ran that year. I was in LA and I ran the LA Marathon March 2020, and so we ran the race. And so I remember, in the airport, I saw like a lot of people with masks. I'm just like, what are they doing? Like, what is this? Like, what's going on? And then like a couple weeks later is when we got the COVID.
Right.
Like, hey, everything's shutting down. And so I was blessed enough to do the LA Marathon right
Okay,
before
it hit
everything
here in the
started
US,
hitting.
yeah.
Right. So
I had that experience in Atlanta, and that
Really?
was attached to the Olympic trials. But yeah, we were already hearing kind of reports.
Right.
Like, this might be a serious thing. I don't know. That's kind of weird. Look at all these people. It's really contagious. That guy died in, wherever. In
Right.
Some leader in some country, the Secretary of Health or something. Like, wow, I don't know. And yeah, it was the same thing. The
Right.
weekend after, everything got shut down.
exactly.
But yeah, El Paso is one of the few marathons now to have been continuous, that we didn't. First, we got lucky on February 2020. We didn't have to, and then a year later, we said, all right, there's a way to do it. So we're one of a handful of marathons now. If you took the last 25 years, it's been continuous. Well, we're around 18 years. But we've continued. We have not stopped. Almost every marathon, including Boston, they had to stop. They didn't have,
Yeah, that's
they had a
true.
virtual, but
Yeah.
they didn't have an in-person marathon. Pikes Peak continued. We continued. I did one in Biloxi, Mississippi, and it was because there weren't few, and I guess Mississippi didn't care about the rules. And, they had a high death rate too. Luckily, we didn't get that. But yeah, they had to shut down a lot of marathons, and so we have this odd distinction of being one of the few that's continuous in the past 15 years.
But interesting, a lot of people actually started to run because that's what
Yeah.
you could do. Just go out there
Exactly.
and start walking.
You couldn't go into the office,
So-
right? You just, stay home and you're on the computer, like, I need to do something. So people
So
started
people
going
started
out.
to jog. Yeah, actually.
My wife and I would go early in the morning, like at 5, and just like, hey, just walking. It was just so quiet. I remember that. It was just so quiet. And we're like, wow, what's going on? And so, you go back home and you start working, and I would train clients on the, on a FaceTime, and so it's like, are you doing okay? Yes. Okay, perfect. All right, let's get moving. Let's do that. So it was a challenging time. COVID was a challenging time, but then it started going. It's like, all right, there is hope. There is hope. So
And races had to start getting creative because that's when
Right.
Race El Paso created the Run the 915
Yeah, Run the
virtual
915.
Is
race.
that when it started?
Yes,
Yeah?
that was the first
Oh,
year.
that's like the virtual.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's right. So we're up to 4 years now, 3 or 4
Yeah,
years.
about.
4. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, there was this kind of the thing that's, I guess, the blessing out of all of this is there was a bounce back. Afterwards, people were like had some pent up energy and all.
Yep.
And I think that's where a lot of the clubs were born.
Yes.
Born, yeah.
And all of a sudden, we had everybody wanting to run, and hopefully, we can keep up these good habits now that we've learned post.
That we're learning. Yeah. Yeah, so if everybody's listening out there, come run the 5K, half marathon, maybe marathon is too late to start bringing those but if you want
if you haven't been training, don't
you
do
have
marathon.
6 hours. You have 6 hours to complete it. Okay, just FYI. But do it. Sometimes, a lot of people are constantly changing PRs, but PRs is also not like the ultimate
Right.
like test or thing to measure success. You can always just finishing, just having an improvement of yourself, being able just to cross the finish line. It's just going to give you like an amazing, like sensation of accomplishment that you just want to keep on going.
100%. And so, another thing that, we haven't touched on is the water stations.
Oh, please.
And so with our water stations, they are competing for prizes.
Okay.
So there are 5 prizes this year, and so for the top prize, $2,000. So,
hey, that's pretty nice.
Right. So last year we had 3 prizes, and so number 1 was a school. Clint came out and they brought their community. They had cheerleaders, they had drum lines, they had the band out there, they had the mascot, jumping up and down,
Okay, and a drum line will always
will always motivate you. And so number 2 was a Star Wars theme, and so we had Star Wars stormtroopers guiding, not blocking, but guarding the porta potties. And so it was hilarious, and Darth Vader coming out of a porta potty, kind of just like waving at people. And our third place was mariachis. It was just lines of mariachis playing for runners passing by. And so this year, with talking to our water stations, they want to up the game. So that's something that people have looked forward to this year is like, running the 5K, you're going to have a water station. And so be ready for the excitement there. The half marathon has about 7 water stations. Of course, the marathon, which is a little further, of course, has a water station every 2 miles. And so people are so motivated to just motivate runners, and they're coming up with some crazy ideas, and I'm like, oh my God, you're gonna do what? And so it's just something to look forward to when you're running the El Paso Marathon. You have something to look forward to every 2 miles. There's gonna be some type of entertainment, and so
now when are we looking for it?
I'm sorry. Absolutely, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
And I know you guys, Run El Paso had a Barbie station.
Right, yeah.
It was amazing.
Was it on that one?
Amazing. Yes, that year.
Wait, they didn't win anything?
Right, I know. Right.
What
it
are
was
you
the most
talking
cool.
about?
They had a Ken in a box.
Yes,
I was like, oh my God, amazing.
That's the one that I remember, from the hall.
Right. So
they were
we have
gels too.
Yeah,
No,
pictures.
it was they didn't have mariachis. I don't know. The
They
judges
just needed a drum like that.
Barbie girls in a Barbie world.
And so
That's cheating, but okay.
And so we have judges that are on bikes that are running. We have some fake runners, out there kind of seeing. And so, everybody has to meet, all the water stations have to meet a criteria. Like they have to have music, they have to have a theme, and of course their enthusiasm has to be high. And so those are the 3 things that our judges are looking for. And so, I don't know.
It's fun. I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be really cool. It's going to be really cool.
All right, guys. Anything else? Anything that you...
If I could make a quick pitch for thanking our sponsors, we're the Michelob Ultra El Paso Marathon, and they've been with us now, at least a decade, probably more, a long time. Yep. And every year they've appreciated, enjoyed it. They actually make beer available at the finish line if you're over 21, of course. Yeah. Rice Federal Credit Union, they've been with us now for several years, and they've been quite a help. And then the Spine and Rehab Specialists, 5K. Without their support, it'd be hard to put these races on.
Of course,
exactly.
definitely.
So they've been really good. And they're not the only ones. You'll see a lot of other folks out there. Charlie Clark had a car out there last year. He had Dancing Bobby.
Yep. And, Dancing Bobby.
And I'm forgetting people. Brian, jump in if you remember one that I'm not remembering.
Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think of all of those as well. And we have so many sponsors this year that we're truly blessed, and they see what we're doing, and they're like, hey, let's support that. But
we've had some people call us saying, hey, how do I be a sponsor? And we go, well, that's already taken, but maybe we can figure something out.
Right.
Because, they just want to be there at the finish line and cheering people on. And it's also, we've got 5,000 runners and all their families and all their friends. So it's also a good way to reach people.
Yeah, that's a
With a good
perfect, like
cause.
perfect place.
And the other thing I'd point out, we are a nonprofit. I think people forget that.
do.
And all of our money at the end of the year after the races, we look at, okay, how much did it all cost, and how much did we bring in, and then we give it away. Boys and Girls Clubs, Liam Bueller Moore Home. Those are some El Pasoans feeding.
Paso Fighting Hunger.
Fighting Hunger. Those are the ones we've done in recent years, but we've done a lot through the years. We've donated more or less around $400,000 since the race has been started. So yeah, money's going to a good cause. As far as the region goes, we're a lower priced race. Look at Albuquerque, Tucson, San Antonio, we're cheaper.
Yeah.
The only one that we're not as cheap as is Juarez, because they have a different pricing structure. There's nothing we can do about that. We apologize, but we do everything we can to hold the prices down.
And mentioning Juarez, I know that there's a lot of people that come from Juarez to do the race.
Yeah.
That's right,
So it's
We're
cool.
like sister cities.
Yes.
It's like being
the
one.
border, the beauty of the border.
Yeah, that's right. Also, I guess a shout out to all the ambassadors,
Absolutely.
please.
Absolutely. Shout out to Nancy. Shout out, and her husband Jose, and what is it, Brian
Julio.
Novak from the Run for It, and oh my gosh, there's so much
Chicken legs.
Mellow,
If I could say something about that, I would say when we look at all the things that have made our race grow in the last few years, the ambassadors have really made it happen. Because, you're an ambassador. How many people have you brought along with you, Nancy?
1,435.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think we look at numbers and it was over 70. the
Yeah,
other day.
okay, now take your 70, and we have about 20 ambassadors.
Yeah.
Do the math. And that's brought a lot of people who maybe would have done it, maybe wouldn't have, though. And we can just see a lot of the growth is tied to our ambassadors. Our ambassador program is just basically us recruiting people in different parts of town, different clubs, different organizations. And we try to have even somebody from Las Cruces, definitely from Juarez, to run, and then they give discounts to people they know, and they encourage a lot of people to train.
Yeah, I think in being an ambassador, I think, Nancy, right, it's just, you just want to be part of it because it's something that you believe in. Like, it's your heart. Again, going back to the beginning, right? You believe in something like that. It's kind of like your local race. I remember one time I was sent, like, last year, and you sent me a message, Jim, like, you're not going to run your local race?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
It's guilt.
he just guilt on me. And I'm like, okay,
It worked, Jim. It worked.
It
It
worked.
worked.
And you
Good
become
job.
one of our best ambassadors.
And I'm an
Absolutely.
ambassador, right? Like,
Absolutely.
I'm like here, putting my heart on it here. All right. So, Nancy, any final words that you want to share with our people?
So
To the one listener out there.
No, well, just in regards to the race, we've been doing the race since 2021 every year, trying to promote and bring more people. And the opportunity of being an ambassador, it just gives a sense of purpose, and I guess it will be where it's not just me anymore, but it's the El Paso race. So it's important to help, to contribute. It's beyond us. It's beyond my run club. It's the city's race. And I like to always support local and do collaborations to help other business owners. And so we have this race here that it's giving back to nonprofits that are helping out a specific cause. It just gives me more fulfillment.
Yeah.
Yeah, these words were in Spanish. They were here, but not in English. But yeah. So it's an honor. That's a word that I was looking for. It is an honor for you guys who have invited Julio and myself to be taking an active role on the race and not just like go across the finish line and get my medal.
Yeah.
I feel like it hits different. So thank you.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Ryan?
Well, it takes a village, right? It takes a village to put this thing on, and so we have amazing people, on our team, and so it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to put this thing on, but at the end of the day, when you're giving checks to these nonprofit organizations, to El Paso Fighting Hunger, the Liam Morehouse, the Boys and Girls Club, it's like, it puts it all into perspective, and it's like, wow, it's like, holy cow, those, all of those organizations are going to thrive because of this. And so we're proud. I'm proud to be part of the El Paso Marathon, and like all the work just kind of just like, wow, you don't remember that, but you remember the good that came out of it. And so yeah, I'm blessed to be part of this organization, the Runners Foundation. And so here's to bigger and better things, making it better every year.
We don't have
right?
nothing to cheer on, but I guess it will be a good moment Cheers.
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 All right.
Absolutely.
Jim, last words?
Well, just thank you for doing this podcast.
Yep.
It is, a village. It's a community event, and I think the more that we realize that, the more that we can get people involved, from cheering to volunteering to actually running, the better. And it'll just keep growing.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for being with me today. Of course, we're here because of the love of running. We have just such an amazing love and respect, not only because of what it does for us mentally, physically, overall health, and in so many levels, right? We have that personal growth, but also because it connects us with other people. You get to meet so amazing people with mind-alike people, regardless if you want to run with a DJ or if you want to run on your own, right? But we all have that same passion. We all have goals to achieve and conquer. I think it helps us to become a little bit better ourselves. We also get to know a little bit, not a little bit, but a lot about ourselves, of who we are, and continue to pushing ourselves to those limits. So if you're a runner, if you're running a 5K, a half marathon, a marathon, please come by, enjoy that process. Go chase that PR. Go ahead and chase that finish line. Celebrate with your family. If you need coaching, if you need people, there's so many people out there that we can help you with information, with knowledge, of course, to assist you in that step. If you're not into running, but also those supporters or family of runners, right? Because they pretty much have to deal with us if we wake up in the morning, we go out at night, our meals for what we're eating, we have to rest, we have to do this and right. And family also plays a big support when you're a runner. If you're in that community, I hope little by little we start to engage people out there. Come on and support people. Just if you don't know anybody, just cheer on us. Come up with just a poster, a sign, something. This is boring, but even that is funny for us. It just lifts us our spirit. So, well, there you go. Thank you so much for being here today, and
Thank you.
And see you around. See you out there on the road. Thank you.
PasoMarathon.org. See you there.
See you. Bye.